Craft Show. We're your hosts, Paige
and Rachel.
and today our episode is all things baby.
Being in our 20s as we are, we've noticed two things. One, babies are everywhere. Two, people we know are now having them on purpose. With that in mind, it's becoming more and more practical to keep a small stash of baby gifts on hand for baby showers and birthdays. Baby gifts are fun to make because they're small, cute, and inexpensive. Well-made, handmade gifts are always appreciated, and if they're not, you should stop being friends with that person immediately.
And what do you do with the extras you make because you just can't stop watching this tutorial of buying flannel? We'll also tell you about some of our favorite charities and how to donate. So today we'll talk about some of our favorite crocheted, knitted, sewn, and quilted gifts that we like to keep on hand. But we are actually not making the babies, so cheers to that. So let's get started. Rachel, hold my booze.
Yes,
Thank you, dear. Okay, so let's start with crocheting. I think it's one of the faster things. This is one of my popular gifts that I give, and I call it a tummy time blanket. It's just nice, thick crocheted yarn. This thing took about 6 hours on a nice big hook. It's made from super acrylic and very, very washable and machine dryable yarn, which is really important for new moms. I also like to make these cupcake baby hats, which I knit, and they're just a little ribbing and a little fluffy yarn on top with a little cherry on top. I do make little labels and tie them on so people know exactly what the fiber content is and how to wash, which is, once again, really important. You can also do little seasonal hats like pumpkin, or you can do apples, lemons, oranges, strawberries with little black seeds in them. Those are really cute. I've recently gotten on a little baby sweater kick. And one of the things that I like to do with the baby sweaters is include the ball band so new mom knows what it's made from and how to care for it. If you're knitting something or crocheting something for someone who doesn't actually knit or crochet themselves, consider using acrylic fibers and cottons. That way they aren't, scared to put wool on their kids.
Which brings us to our third category of items, the sewn and quilted baby items. Today we're going to be looking at how to make decorative burp cloths and two-sided flannel blankets. I'm going to be showing you guys today how to make the double-sided flannel blanket. This is 2 yards of about 45-inch wide flannel that you can pick up at pretty much any craft store. Hundreds of adorable options. You will have a hard time restricting yourself to just 2. Today we are going to be using this adorable pink whale fabric with the gray chevrons. So to start, you're going to lay them together on the floor, or if you are lucky enough to have a larger surface, right sides together. And then I really like this nice little curved corner, so we're going to be making that in there too. It's a little easier to do the curved corners, I think, than trying to make a perfect corner sometimes. So for this, I just take a bowl, any round regular surface will work, and trace around it. Find a pen that works first. This one does not work, but we're going to do all 4 corners and then go ahead and cut those out. After you've got it all cut out and your nice little corners cut out with your bowl, go ahead and pin the 2 sides together. You're going to want to leave about 8 inches or so open on one side. So we're going to pin it and then stitch all the way around it at a 5/8 seam allowance, leaving it about 8 inches or so we can turn it out later. Sewing with your 5/8 seam allowance all the way around, you're going to go corner to corner and cut out notches in each one of them. This is going to make it so that when we turn it right side out, you're not going to get a big wad of fabric in each of the corners. It's actually going to lay nice and flat. Once you've got all 4 of your corners notched out, you're going to find that hole that you left. Just stick an arm down in there and turn it right side out. And we're going to iron all the way around the edges so they are nice and flat. Alright, now that you've got it all inside out, ironed and pinned, you can see how nice and flat that is since you cut those notches out. So this is when you get to finally use those fancy stitches on your sewing machine. I don't actually know what they're all for, but they do make a really cute baby blanket trim. So take a look at those, pick one out that you like, and if you've got a sewing machine manual handy, see how they tell you to change over to your special stitches, which might be different than the way that I do it. And then we're just going to stitch all the way around the blanket I line up the edge of the fabric here with the edge of my presser foot. I don't know what that is, like a 1/4 inch maybe, 1/8 of an inch, I don't know. But it's nice and close to the edge and keeps that little bit of fabric in there from your seam allowance. Just keeps it in place and keeps it from bunching up. Oh, you also might want to refill your bobbin at this point. Some of these decorative stitches take an awful lot of thread.
Okay, so making burp cloths could not be easier. All you do is start with some good diapers. The brand that I prefer is Gerber. If you want to get pre-folded cloth diapers, you do not want to get the kind with the padding in it, because then it just absorbs barf and then you get just giant wads of barf. And that's not good. So, no absorbent padding, just plain, like 5-pack of diapers. Make sure they're all nice and iron straight. And then, so we're gonna cut some ribbon that's a tiny bit longer than the diaper is. And we're gonna kind of do some easy cheating here. There are already 2 lines sewn into it, so we're just gonna pin right next to the lines. Keep it as straight as possible. We're going to fold a little bit under and pin that down, and then we'll take it over to the sewing machine. Okay, so one thing we are going to do before we sew down the ribbon is we're going to fold over the end and tuck that under so that we don't get any ribbon fraying, because that's not very good. So once we've got it all down and pinned, and we're going kind of parallel to one of the lines that are already in there, then we'll just put our presser foot down. We're going to put our sewing machines on zigzag, and then we're just going to sew. So when we get to the corner, we're just going to kind of reinforce it here, go back and forth across here, turn, and go the other way. Make sure you really tuck that little ribbon end under, then it's just not pretty when it comes out. Once you've got your first ribbon sewn on, just do the exact same thing with the second ribbon. Trim your ends and you're done. Alright, so we've finished our crafts. It's been about an hour. So Rachel has finished her absolutely adorable blanket. I'll let her tell you about that.
This is it. 2 yards, 1 each of the front and the back. Sew them right side together, flip them inside out, and your cute little decorative finishing stitch around the outside of it. And we'll hide that spot where I ran out of bobbin thread. There you go.
Alright, and if you really get your groove on, you can make about a burp cloth every 10 minutes. Or, here we go. So we made 3 tonight. We made a little froggy. We made a couple Dr. Seuss. So just find the lines on the inside, or find the lines, pin next to it, and sew. Make sure you sew around the corners really well, and you're done. Easiest gifts ever.
As we mentioned at the beginning of the episode, now that we're done with our baby projects, Paige is going to tell us a little bit about some charities that accept these kinds of items.
There are charities for absolutely every kind of handmade item. So you can do baby blankets. We like Project Linus, Newborns in Need, and Miracles Happen. And I'll post links for those. If you prefer animals, then there's lots of great projects like Snuggles, where you just take a bunch of scrap yarn or fabric and make a thick bed, drop them off at a shelter. Everyone loves them. She loves them. She has 5 or 6 that she won't let me turn in. You can do lap blankets or lap gams for seniors in nursing homes. You can do 8-inch blocks or 10-inch blocks. There's several charities that just take blocks, and then when they have enough of a color scheme, they will assemble a blanket and send it to families who have lost a loved one, like a child or a mother, to wives of soldiers that die overseas, or husbands of soldiers that die overseas. And then there's also projects like Afghans for Afghans, which send completed projects to villages all over the world.
Thank you for joining us for this episode, and tune in next time. What are we doing next time, Paige?
I think we're going to dismantle an atomic bomb while blindfolded with our special guest Channing Tatum. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.